what's going on? Thanks for checking out our channel. My name is Nate. Our company is custom made by us. I got my wireless mic on. I don't know how long it's going to last for because this I haven't charged it yet, so I need to get it charged. So I just did a video for printhead alignment, and if you've been on my channel long enough, you'll know that Nate's a rambler. I'm a rambling man. So, it's a long video. It's almost an hour long on how to, and it doesn't take an hour to do a printhead adjustment or printhead alignment. So this is going to be kind of an amendment to that video, and I'm going to make it as short as I can. I want to see if I can do a video and reduce all of that down into something that someone can watch in the next 10, 15 minutes and get it figured out. So that's what this one's for. So let's get to it. Good stuff. All right, so we're going to get into this. So my last video today was actually this morning. Actually, I filmed it yesterday and got it all put together today. So as you know, if you watch my channel, Nate is a rambling man. It's just who I am. I'm a rhymer too. So my last video on printhead alignment's about an hour. So it's very in-depth, very involved, actually shows the process of printing, looking at it under the microscope, filming my laptop screen, and to me I just felt that was good when you're making that video, but after the fact, when you post-production it and you put the video together and you put it online and you kind of watch it, you're like, it's going to be a bit if anybody wants to watch this to really figure out how to do your printhead alignments. So this video, I'm going to try to rip through it. So this is for printhead alignment using the Print EXP software. The printer that I'm doing this on is from Ricoma. It's the REVEL DTF2402. And we're going to get right into it. So at the top of my screen, you're going to see a bar, and that's the remote control software that I'm using because I'm remoted into the computer that's out in the shop. And so I can get these and show you these values. Let me turn off some of these notifications here. So the first thing you're going to want to do for printhead alignment is come into Print EXP and click up here where it says adjust at the top. Actually, my mouse needs to be on this side of the screen. So the first thing you're going to want to do your printhead alignments is click up here at the top of the screen. It's kind of hidden by the bar. If I bring that up, you can see it says adjust. So you're going to click on adjust, and once you do that, these options on the left are going to come up. So you're going to click on bidirect adjust, which is your bidirectional adjustment. So if you're printing in bidirectional, which means you're printing both going left and right, you will need to do a bidirectional adjustment. If you're only printing, if bidirectional is turned off and you only print in one direction, you don't need to do a bidirectional adjustment. So when you click on print adjust, your computer is going to print out the following image. Let me show that to you here. So this graphic you see is the actual image from my printer that printed out when I did bidirectional. So all of these will have a graph with the 0 designating like top dead center if you're into cars. So 0, that's where you want to be. You want to be on 0. So, and to explain the graph, if you look at this image, I'll zoom in a little bit over here, on the one that says +2 on the end, you can see this dark gray part comes out further than this light gray by just a few bars. And it gets better as it comes in on +1, and then when you get to 0, you can see the edges are lined up. If you go to -1 and go the other direction, you'll see the edge starts going out the other way. So here's an example here. You can see this is coming out the other way. And you don't want that. You want them on top of each other. So you want to be on 0. So that's where this is at. So what the numbers represent So let me give you an example. Let's say you print your bidirectional adjustment and 0 looks like 2. And it's off a little bit. And then you go down the road a little bit, going down the right-hand side of the screen here and say, because this goes from like 0 to 7 or 8. I mean, there's more in the scale. I'm just showing you a small portion of it. So say you go up to scale and you see that your value that looks the best when they're perfectly on top of each other, say it's +5. And you're like, +5 looks the best. That's what I like. So what you end up doing is back in your software, if I go back into Print EXP, there's a bidirectional value here. Mine's set to 11.5. So, but if I needed to adjust it because +5 looks the best, I'm going to add 5 to this value. I'm not going to set it to 5. I need to add 5. So it's going to become 16.5 as my value for bidirectional adjustment. Then I would click Save. And then I will print it again and I will look at it. If you have good eyes, use your eyes. I look at it under my microscope and I can see, you know, when you make that adjustment, now 0 should be perfect. If it's not, you know, maybe now it's +1 or it's -1. You come in and you make that numeric value adjustment in this column here, in this little field here. So once you've got your bidirectional adjustment adjusted and your 0 is beautiful, you then go over to your headspace. So on headspace, I'm clicking on the wrong screen. So you go over to headspace and you've got a horizontal and a vertical. So the first thing we're going to check is the horizontal left distance. So you're going to click Print Adjust, and it's going to print on your printer, on that film, another graphic, which is, bring this up, and I'll show you that graphic here. This is my left horizontal adjustment. This one's a little bit easier to see. You can see here 0. Remember, 0 is your key where you need to be at. So if I look at +1, I see a little black peeking out there. If you go to +2, it's gotten even worse. And then if you look +3, +4, +5, it gets worse and worse the further down you go. So -1 doesn't look too bad, but I can still see a little bit of a black shadow there. And then obviously on -2, it's the same thing. So for me right now, my 0 is perfect. So let's say your 0 is not perfect. You've got an offset. Look in your range of numbers and go, okay, which one looks perfect? Oh, it's -4. So if yours is a -4 that looks good, you're going to go back into Print EXP and your H2 value right here, mine's set to 1, but say yours looked good at -4, your value there then is going to be a -3. You would literally come in here and set this to a negative value. You'd put the minus sign in 3. Now what you're doing is because it's -4, you have to take away this 1 first and then make it a -3. So once it's -3, you click up here to save those changes and then do another print adjust and then make sure that it lines up. And you keep doing that until you go 0. You want to again make sure that when you get to 0, you're looking at your 0, it should be the one that's perfectly lined up. If you're off one side or the other, you've got an offset or an alignment issue, and you need to use these numbers to bring it back into alignment. So after doing the left print head back inside of Print EXP, you click over here for the right distance. You'll do a print adjust. It's the exact same thing. So I'll minimize this one. This is my right adjustment. And again, you can see the value 0 and then -1, -2, +1, +2. You can see the dark bar that's off to the right of this image. And then you can see there's a dark bar here. And then over here, I've got a little bit of a dark bar. And then over here, it's more pronounced. So my 0 again is perfect. They're right on top of each other. If they're not, find the value that looks the best for you Once you've found that value, you go back inside of your Print EXP software, and then you adjust this value right here. So that's where you make the adjustments at. So, and again, it's going to be based on where that perfect image is at. If it's +6, and you're like, okay, that looks really good for your right distance, +6s, you're good. You're going to come in here, and obviously what this number is going to go to 5. You're going to remove that one negative and then add the others to it. So it's going to, that's your 6. So minus the 1 plus the 5 more positive you're adding is the 6 value that you see in the +6. Hopefully I'm not confusing you by saying that, but that's the way that these numbers work. And then last but not least is your vertical alignment. So you're going to do a print adjust. It's going to print out, and it's going to look like this image here. So this looks different than your bidirectional left and right. So this is a vertical alignment. And what you're looking at here is, let me move my mouse back over to that screen. If I zoom in on this one here, you can see this white bar where the hand is and this dark bar. So they're not lined up. There's a gap. But as you come in towards 0, it gets better, and then you can see my 0 is perfect. That white line is right with the black line. You can see on a +2, it's a smidge over the black line, and on my -2, it's a smidge under that black line. So my vertical alignment is perfect. So that's what yours should be like. Now again, it's the same process. You don't have, if something's off by a value, say you're looking at your vertical alignment, and after it's printed you go -4 looks better. I mean, -4 is perfectly lined up this way. So you're going to come into here and you make the change here on H2. You're going to -4 from this number. So you just subtract 4 from 1537, key it in, save it, reprint your adjustment, and make sure what you're doing is you're making sure that when you finally get 0 perfectly lined up, that's aligned. So if your bidirectional is perfect, if your right and left horizontal alignments are perfectly lined up on 0, and your vertical is perfectly lined up on 0, then your print heads are aligned. So that is the process. That it took me a lot longer on my previous video to put this together, but for me, sometimes I don't know, I like doing stuff and talking about things and rambling on. So hopefully this video is informational for you. I'm sure this applies to not just the Revel from Ricoma, the DTF2402 that I have. If you're using Print EXP with any China-based DTF printer, and you have a two print heads, white and CMYK, I'm sure it's very similar process, you know, to do your alignments, your print head alignments. So again, I thank you for coming and watching my videos. If the video was helpful, please do click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell so you get notified when I post new content. And as always, you know what? I appreciate you guys. And I'll see you on the next video. Sometimes, you know, rambling's good, but when you're trying to get down to the nitty-gritty and you need to do a print head alignment, sometimes watching an hour-long video, it's just not going to cut it. So I'll see you guys on the next one.